Good morning. Welcome. My name is Renee. I am your wealth coach. Today I want to talk about a little bit about legacy. And as I had mentioned before, if you're following me, that the sweatshirts that I designed all have meaning. And so there's a story behind each and every design that we have in Kingdom Heirs apparel. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about legacy today. And I am going to get into, if for those of you that remember the prodigal son story from Sunday school, I'm going to talk more and just really open up that story. That story is about legacy because it was a father who had two sons, and one of the sons asked for his inheritance. And so, one thing that I've learned about legacy is that if you study scripture, you'll see that, like, especially in the New Testament, it shows you the genealogy of Jesus and all the people that came before him and how it all connected. And so, and there's like a red crimson connection that it talks about. And so, and that's just like legacy. I'm in my 50s, but I'm really learning more and more about my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my dad, myself, how legacy gets passed down throughout the generations, because definitely you want to be a blessing and pass something down not only to your children but to their children and to their children, so it can go down through down through the generations. And so the one thing that I've learned through the word legacy is that the first word is leg, and how each and every layer has to add work to the legacy in order for it to stay strong. Been looking at the Rockefellers, like their legacy is still as strong as it was 100 years ago, when their father, their great-grandfather, their great-great-grandfather, it's been over 100 years, and the trust is still as strong as it was the day that he designed it and put it together. So my great-grandfather and my grandfather had purchased over 100 acres of land in South Carolina. And then when they two passed away, then my father got it. So now we're 3 layers in. When he passed away, my father had 11 siblings, and at the time of me receiving partnership, because it was also my sister, because it can get bigger and bigger with siblings, but my father there was 11 of them. So the land that got passed down, I then became partners with his siblings. But I've also learned that in order to keep it to go down further, that I had to add to it. So not only did my grandfather and his father purchase land, my father purchased land, I'm purchasing land, my daughter's going to purchase land. So you see how it goes, that each person will add to the legacy, which keeps it strong and makes it makes the root of your inheritance go deep. And so in our community, and when I say community, I'm talking about Afro-American community, and I can't really make this statement because I don't really know. I know my grandfather did it. He saw down the road. He prepared for it down the road. But just from some of the people that I've spoken with, let me just make that statement. Sometimes you're the first one in your family to start the legacy, and that's okay. It doesn't matter where it starts, but as long as it gets started, you can add to your legacy. And I'm learning now about trust funds. And so, because I always wondered, like, even from God's economy, like we're talking centuries, you know, in centuries, but his economy is just as strong. And so I'm like, well, God, you never run dry. Your resources are just always flowing. How is that? And so, you know, when you grab hold, like this scripture says, I'm a blessing so that other families can be blessed. So you got to keep it going. So, and that's how it's been. That's where you get to where people give to charities, or they give to their local church, or that's a way of adding to the legacy and keeping the economy strong. There's communities or cultures that they circulate the dollar within their community like as 7 times, and so they have a strong economy. And so but you can make a strong family to whereas I'm meeting more and more people now that creates they add to the legacy, and they're sealing it, securing it, so that way down the road, if someone needs help, like so grandma don't lose her house to taxes, or your kids, they don't have to worry about how am I going to pay to send my kids to college. The money is already there in the family fund. And I'm not a pro at that, but I, know people like, if you look at the video that I did with Chad, he is a professional in that arena. So, you can definitely talk to people like him to secure the bag for your family down the road. And when you think about it, you're like, why would I put in time and effort for the next generation? Let them fend for themselves. Yes, but why not give them a leg up? Why not be the springboard for the next generation? I'm at a point in my life to whereas, I'm content. I've accomplished. There's really nothing that I don't think that I've accomplished. Of course, I still set goals and still do new and exciting things, but there's nothing in life that I wanted to do that I didn't do. And so I'm good. So now I have time to focus on, my grandchildren and their children. And so I'm just glad to be a part of that. I'm glad to be able to contribute to that. I'm glad to, and that's why I do the videos. That's why, I write books, or I leave, like I have a great nephew now, like tell him stories. Like my mom passed away, and, we moved, like we lived in Connecticut, but her family lived in Pittsburgh. And, my mom passed away, but she, in her later years, just stopped communicating with her side of the family. And just this year, 2022, some of her family members, we reconnected. And so back in September, October, I can't remember, one of those months, I went to Pittsburgh and we met up, and we've been keeping in contact ever since. Like my mom had, I want to say two sisters and two brothers. And so just their children, we're reconnecting. I can't even tell you how awesome that is. And they sent me a picture of my mom and her sister and her brother's son, which I didn't get to see him while I was there, but we talked. And just to see us grown adults, because I haven't seen them since I was a young child, before I was 11 years old. And to reconnect now and to see how everyone is doing. I'm telling you, it's a blessing. Family is a blessing. I'm going to stop there because I feel like I'm rambling. But yeah, the legacy, you have to add to it. You know, you got to add to it. They bought land. My father bought land. I'm buying land. My daughter's going to buy land. And we're just going to keep it going. And then secure it so that way it can continue on. Now, you may have to put some stipulations in there, and you should. You have every right to your portion that you add to it, like instructions on how you want it to be handled after you're gone. But I'm going to stop for now, and you have a wonderful day. See you on the next video.